The Fraternal Order of Eagles number 190 in Massillon wants you. Stop down to the Massillon ARE at 303 Wyrick Boulevard Northwest. And like our over 1,800 members experience daily, your Eagles membership will give you access to great food and drink specials. Having a party? Host it in our banquet facility and seat up to 400 people. When you're coming through downtown Massillon, stop by the Eagles and sign up. And for a small fee, you'll have access and be a part of a fraternity that donates over $100,000 a year to local charities. The Fraternal Order of Eagles ARE number 190 in downtown Massillon. Stop by or call us today at 330-832-7385.
At C.H. Vallis & Associates, we've been proudly serving the greater Stark County community for over 78 years. Locally owned, we cover your home, auto, business, and life insurance along with your group benefits. Our partnership with auto owners has allowed us to span not only Ohio, but throughout the entire country. Did you know that Auto Owners, an A++ rated company by AM Best and a Fortune 500 company, has ranked C.H. Vallis & Associates a top 10 insurance agency in the state of Ohio? From your basic home and auto needs to insuring some of the largest companies in America, there's a reason people choose C.H. Vallis & Associates and Auto Owners. Our dedication and passion for our clients and their coverage is part of our commitment to excellence. For all your insurance coverage needs, there's only one call to make, and that's C.H. Vallis & Associates, located at 1302 South Main Street in North Canton. Contact us at 330-494-2776 today and see the difference in customer satisfaction.
All right, welcome into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. TJ Downing here with Stark Media, joined by my good friends here from the Walsh Cavalier football team, Coach John Fankhauser. I'm going to let him introduce his guy over here across from me. But before we want to do this, and just a salute to our friends here at the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Cheryl Shepard, always taking care of us. Rich DeRosiers as well just popped in here and had a couple words with us. But we want to kind of keep you plugged in as to what's going to be going on here for 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Week. We know it's going to be a big one. Obviously, talking about the big boys, we know Joe Thomas is rolling into town. So when you got the Cleveland Browns coming in, there's going to be a lot of people rolling down 77 to come into Canton. So just so you know, the schedule looks like this. Wednesday, August 2nd, really kind of get things kick-started at 10 a.m. with the Play Football First Play presented by Panini's. Thursday, August 3rd, you will have the Hall of Fame game that's going to feature the Cleveland Browns taking on the New York Jets. That's an 8 o'clock kick. Friday, August 4th at 10:30, you'll have the Hall of Famer photo op here at the Hall of Fame, followed by at 11 o'clock the fashion show luncheon downtown. You're also going to have at 5 o'clock your gold jacket dinner for the enshrinees. Saturday, August 5th, 8 a.m., the Canton Repository Grand Parade, followed by noon, the Class of 2023 enshrinement. And then at 8 o'clock, you'll have the Concert for Legends featuring the Zach Brown Band. Sunday, August 6th at noon, you're going to have the enshrinees roundtable. And we really close things out on Monday, August 7th with the Blue Coats, their innovations in brass. You'll be able to see them at 7 o'clock. So, again, we thank all of our partners. We thank the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Shout out to Hilsher Clark. Shout out to our good friends at Spirit of Stark, Simon Says Promotions, and also the Eagles FOE 190. We'll talk about some more of our sponsors here in just a second. But, Coach Fank, good to have you on here, man. Welcome you in. Tell us who you got here with us today.
Hey, thanks for having us. I brought David Rhodes with us. He's a local guy, grew up in Hartville area, Lake High School product. He's been an offensive lineman for us, even though we've tried to move him around a few different places. He's a really athletic kid and does some really good things. He's a hard worker and one of the greatest guys I've been around in my time at Walsh, and it's been quite a while there. But he's willing to do anything for the team, and you underestimate how much a kid that has a great heart and a great work ethic, what they can do for your program. Everybody looks for that 6'4", 6'5" guy like you.
Yep.
And wants that guy to walk in the door. But when you have a guy that's a little bit shorter but has a great motor and a great leadership and a great attitude, David is that guy for us.
There's no substitute for what you got right there in the left side of your chest, man. I'll tell you that. Coach, talk a little bit about what you guys were doing out here today. You guys have been out here all week, and this is something that Walsh has been involved with for a while now. That was the Get Fit training, and you're bringing some of your guys out here to work with some youngsters.
Yeah, well, we started this, or they've started this about 15 years ago. And a couple of the guys from the Hall of Fame had called me and said, hey, can we bring some guys over to do some volunteer work and work with the kids in positional type settings and work with them. And we've been doing it for now 14 years. We missed the first one. We've been doing it for 14 years. But it's great to get these youngsters out and get them fit. We all complain about them being behind the screens and all those other things. But for the schools to have a field trip, bring their kids to the hall, be able to go around the hall, and then spend half the day out on the turf fields working through a number of drills with a quarterback station, a wide receiver station, an agility, a hopscotch type thing. A lot of little stations that we do is great for the kids. What's great for our players is they're able to demonstrate and run those stations for those kids, and it gives our kids a chance to give back and be a part of these youth and let them understand what it took to get to the place they're at in the football life. And the other thing I really appreciate is what our kids gain from it as well. And our kids gain a lot of things from those kids, and the kids look up to them, and you don't realize that until you actually see somebody go look up to you and say, wow, you're a football player, and have that awestruck moment with our players. So it's a really big positive. Again, we've been doing this for such a long time. It's hard to imagine. We know that it's summertime when the Hall of Fame calls and said, hey, we got our camp going. Let's go for a week and let's go. And we've had about 14 guys over throughout the week, and guys will spend each day out here and spend about 3.5 hours working through drills with the kids. So it's a great opportunity.
Weren't quite sure a couple weeks ago if it was getting close to summertime or not. It was a little chilly out here, but we got some nice weather and a cool little scene out there. Not only were you guys doing that back on field 4, but you had the New Jersey Generals practicing out there. So I know for those kids to be able to see that, see professional athletes out there, and even yourself, David. I mean, Coach mentioned the key word, giving back, right? So what's it like for you switching from player who's used to hearing, coach get after you a little bit, from you now being able to coach these kids up?
Yeah, I mean, just throughout the school year, between athletics and academics, it can get to be a lot. You have a lot on your schedule throughout the year, so when you do have the free time to come out and be able to do something like this, it's cliche, but the youth really is the future of the world. So any time to go out there and mentor them and just be a good example for them, it means a lot.
So I'm sure you had a couple moments there where you're probably peeking over to that other field there, Field 7, and checking out the O-line drills, see what those boys are all about. Yeah, and you pull away any tips, see anything going on over there that you might put in the back of your pocket once training camp rolls around?
I mean, I wish I was as tall as them. So they were just, you can tell they're pretty big dudes, just unbelievable work ethic, and then also body maintenance, just being able to keep fueling those bodies and just keep working throughout it. So, keep fighting for their dreams. It's inspiring.
So kind of fill everybody in here as far as your football journey, what that's looked like coming from the Lake Blue Streaks, here now with the Walsh Cavaliers, playing offensive line. I know Coach kind of joked around a little bit, wasn't sure where you might go, might try and pull you here, put you there, but where's your landing spot been? Are you an OG? Are you playing tackle? Or are you down in the trenches? Are you snapping the ball?
Yeah, I've kind of been, through high school and college, I've kind of done a mixture of everything. I've kind of been the Swiss Army knife throughout, just kind of being able to plug me in wherever. So I've had the opportunity to
Versatility's good, man.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity in high school. I played guard for 3 years, and then my senior year was able to slide out to tackle some, kind of rotate back and forth. And then when I showed up here at Walsh, I was told that I was going to try out center. So I was like, you know what, whatever I can do to best help. And it's the last one I haven't touched yet. So I was like, I just kind of went after that. So I've been doing that for the past few years, started every game last year at center, and then kind of bounced around at guard here and there along the way as well.
Coach, you've I want to say, let me do my math here. You've been around the program now for 22 years?
Since 1998, but they said there'd be no math, so don't worry about
it. Since 98, now you're the head man in charge, and so you've seen a lot of football from the Walsh Cavalier football program for a long time. What gets you most excited? And you've also, I believe you've coached on every side of the ball. You've done special units, you've done the offense, you've done the defense. When I always get excited with the offensive line play, right? But what's your favorite part of the game? What's your favorite position group? What is the one time of practice? Is it inside run drill? Is it one-on-one pass rush? What is really the one that kind of makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck?
Oh, boy, that's a great question because, again, I have been on every side of the ball in the secondary, on the D-line, and the linebackers, wide receivers, very, very little bit, but running backs and helping those guys around. And you're right, inside period is a period that we know that, hey, we're getting after it. Let's get going. block those guys out, for that 3 to 5 seconds and open up holes for our guys. And that is a part of practice that really gets going. But I'll say this, whenever we walk out on the field, that's what keeps me going. Whenever I walk out on the field and I'm able to see our guys come out to the field, have a great attitude, and be ready to go, that's what keeps me going more than anything. Because you'll have your good days on inside, you'll have your bad days on inside. And I've been on the defensive side where we stuff them and we're great. And then I've been on the defensive side where they ran all over us. And I've been on the offensive side where we run all over them and all those things. But as a head coach, you never get too excited about any of it anymore because you're watching your team either have success or not have success. So you try to balance it and give guys what they need in those times. But, having our kids come out through the tunnel onto our field on campus is huge.
That's the big hitter right there, and that's the one thing I want to ask you next here, David. You now have the beautiful facility. You have Larry Stout Field. You have the William and Kathleen Brockler press box. You've got a different feeling on campus now. You've got, I guess you could call it, protect your house, protect your own turf. You've got something there that not only is a centerpiece for the Walsh University as a whole. I mean, it was great going out there. I got a chance to watch the girls lacrosse team, the women's lacrosse team, win a GMAC championship against Findlay the other day. So everybody gets to kind of share in it. But now you've got tailgating. You've got that whole Saturday vibe and that feel. And how has that kind of changed for you, and what have you seen from last year compared to the years before that when you didn't have that?
It was really exciting. I know that this past season obviously was our first time playing an actual game on campus, so everyone was super amped about that. It's just a completely different feel before the game. Getting on a bus for home games, it didn't really feel like you had that home advantage as some other teams might have, but just being blessed. I mean, we're one of the few teams in our conference that actually have our own field on campus. So, I mean, it's just completely different. And then the student body, it's you have way more people that are able to come out there and enjoy the game with us. So it's an overall great atmosphere out there.
Yeah, I kind of know that feeling, man. Back when I played at Glen Oak, we used to have to travel over to Fawcett Stadium. So you just didn't feel like it was a home field advantage or it was your own deal. But I got to ask, man, what was that first pregame speech like when you knew it was, hey, guys, this is something different now. This is going to be a moment in time that Walsh University will never forget.
Yeah, it was really a special time as we were, the hype and pomp and circumstance getting all the way up to kickoff was really great. It was so nice, as David mentioned this a little bit and you just mentioned as well, to not have to get on a bus and go somewhere else to play our home game, to eat in our cafeteria, have our pregame meal, do our Cavalier walk across campus, and that's going to start getting bigger and bigger as we go, get in our own locker room, be able to walk out of our locker room and hit the field. And our guys have kind of started a little tradition in the tunnel. If you know our field, we go through a tunnel before we get to the field. It's really a good atmosphere. Our guys get a little hyped in there as well. That's when I got the most nervous, I'll say that. When we stopped and we're in that tunnel and those guys started getting a little hyped up and you come out of the tunnel and there's your field and we're playing our first home game in 7 years, whatever it has been, it was magical for that, for sure. And we got to do a lot of things and play better at home and do some things and really start creating a home field atmosphere and that defending type thing. But it was great to be able to do that for our kids and our fans and everybody that had been a part of it.
TJ Downing here from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, joined by Walsh Cavalier head football coach John Fankhauser, big-time offensive lineman snapping the ball down low, my man in the trenches, David Rhodes. Real quick here, a couple fun facts. Not sure if anybody knows this or not, but I don't know if you guys know this. Ken Riley, he's only the second Cincinnati Bengal player to ever be enshrined here. Now, we're going to keep it O-line, so we know the only one other than that is Anthony Munoz. Joe Thomas, he's actually the first Cleveland Brown player to be enshrined from the team that returned back to Cleveland in 1999. So that 2023 class consists of 9 members: Rondé Barber, Don Coryell, Chuck Alley, Joe Klecko, Darrell Rivas, Ken Riley, Joe Thomas, who we just mentioned, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware. You can see those guys back here behind us in this beautiful presentation room here inside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Shout out again to a couple of our special partners, H&H Truck Parts, also C.H. Vallis and Associates, and our good friends over at Lindsay's Pizza. Make sure to check them out. John Lindsay does a great job here in the community giving back. And, Coach, something that I got a chance to talk to the director of athletics communication, Christina Payon, before she took off as, she is the men's and women's head golf coach. Had a chance to get out there in Springfield, Illinois, play a little bit of golf here the past couple days. She was, similar to you, a part of this university when it made the transition from NAIA to D2, going from the GLIAC to the GMAC. What does that whole transition look like? She kind of shared it from her perspective. As we know, football, it's kind of the big dog, right? It's what everybody talks about, especially here in Northeast Ohio. But what was that whole transition like, and how have you seen things kind of change as you guys have gotten into NCAA Division II?
Well, that was a big change for us. It was really a time that, as we were going through it as an assistant coach at that time, I thought, hey, you know what, we're pretty similar to D2 and some of the D2 schools that we had seen, or at least seen on film, and all that. And so when we made the jump, I remember we made the jump and we were playing one of the state schools pretty quickly. I think it was Wayne State right out of the gate, and they came off the bus, and I was like, oh boy, those guys are different than us. And that was my first eye-opening experience as far as, hey, those guys are big and physical. But I'll say this, one of the things that I've been really proud of whenever we were all in the GLIAC together, and then we made the jump out of the GLIAC to the GMAC, is our schools have represented ourselves very well against those state schools that typically have a little bit more, if you would say, than we do. And we've really done well football-wise against those teams, and really played, tough football in the days that we were all in the GLIAC together, and then when we jumped out, and we still have some crossover games and those things as well. Facilities is always a big part of it, and for us to finally get our facility on our campus, but we've always had a really pretty nice weight room and locker room and all those things. We got to continue to enhance those things, but we were as good as a lot of places. You look at like a Ferris State, we have as good of facilities as they do, and we can do some things, and we got to keep getting our ducks in a line, if you will. But it's really neat to have a lot of those same type of things that we can do, and try to project ourselves into that big part of the D2 world in football. But as a university, it's been so nice for us to be able to say we're NCAA, and we can go out and recruit.
Power outages can happen at any time without warning and can leave your home powerless for days. Hilscher Clark has partnered with Generac to bring you the #1 selling home standby generator brand, engineered and built in the USA since 1959. With a home standby generator, your home will never lose power again. Generac generators activate automatically in the event of any power loss and restore power to your home within seconds. Don't leave your home unprotected. Trust only the best. Hilscher Clark's residential division are experts in their profession and go above and beyond to provide you with quality, efficient service at a fair price. Starting with the estimate, they keep you informed regarding status and completion of your projects. They also give you shorter arrival windows and send you email and text confirmations of your scheduled service appointment, as well as notifications when their electricians are on their way to your home. Hilscher Clark's Google reviews speak for themselves, with more than 270 reviews and 4.9 stars. And if you've just recently purchased an electric vehicle but don't want to rely on public chargers to keep your battery full, Hilscher Clark has all the juice you can handle for your home vehicle charging needs. Hilscher Clark is a certified Q Merit Solutions partner, making them market leaders in electrification and recommended by local dealerships. Visit them online at www.hilscher-clark.com. That's HILSCHER-CLARKE.com. Or stop down and see them at 519 4th Street Northwest in downtown Canton. Or contact Hilscher Clark today at 330-452-9806. That's 330-452-9806. Remember, it's your home, it's our family. Trust only the best. Hilscher Clark Electric Company.
McNeil & Sons Tree Service serves the greater Northeast Ohio area by keeping your property clear all year round. Do you have trees that have stretched too close to your home? A rotted tree that has to go? Or perhaps even storm damage? No job is too big or small for McNeil & Sons. We specialize in large tree removal, storm damage, stump grinding, land clearing, and more. McNeil & Sons Tree Service is fully licensed and insured, so contact us today at 330-606-1126. for all your tree care needs. Or visit us online at mcneiltree.com to schedule your free quote. The professionals at McNeil & Sons can inform you of your tree health and give you a risk assessment to keep your family protected. So call today, 330-606-1126. McNeil & Sons Tree Service, a company you can depend on with family you can trust.
The leader in quality drivetrain components, H&H Truck Parts is a name you can trust. Located in Valley View, Ohio at 5500 South Cloverleaf Parkway, H&H can handle all your heavy-duty truck needs. Come in and exchange your transmission, differential, or power steering gearbox. But that's not all. H&H is equipped to handle all your parts needs. Permco pumps, Muncie PTOs, Neapco U-joints, Spicer yokes, new Eaton clutches, and more. Let the professionals at H&H Truck Parts handle your transmission or differential installation in one of their 6 service bays. Specializing in drivetrain repairs, stop by and have your drive shaft balanced, flywheel resurfaced, or your clutch installed alongside the best transmissions and differentials on the road. You know why they're the best? Because H&H is Ohio's largest purchaser of Eaton Fuller parts. Need a blower or a pump? H&H distributes Paragon and Permco brands. Names you can trust with your livelihood on the road. Call H&H Truck Parts today for the leader in heavy-duty truck parts and service. Call locally at 216-642-4540. Toll free at 800-601-4540 or check them out online at hhtruckparts.com.
Recruit that, and that's a big part of recruiting now, because a lot of kids didn't know what NAIA was. And you had to explain it. Okay, what is NAIA? National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. It actually started before the NCAA did. Not many people know that. There's a little fun fact for you as well. But we always had to explain it and started off like that. And they thought, well, is it D2? Is it D3? Is it D4? That they've never labeled it. And it was really, we had scholarships, so we were just like D2, but we weren't quite as many scholarships as a normal D2 program is. So it's easier to recruit for sure.
Yeah, you talk about those different recruiting pieces, that being one, NCAA D2, the facilities, the weight room, your own field, the beauty of the campus. So really, let's kind of circle back there and talk about the weight room, because that's kind of been your guys' deal here over the last couple of months, right? What has it looked like from your perspective in the grind, being a leader of the group, starting from, let's say, January 1st, when you guys you kind of come back, holidays wrap up, previous football season's done. I can kind of it to me, I still kind of think back on those times. I don't miss them a whole lot, those 5 a.m., 6 a.m. wake ups. You're getting out there, you're doing mat drills, you're doing board gassers, you're doing all types of crazy stuff, just conditioning-wise to get yourself right. And a lot of people don't have the right mindset with those things, understanding that this is all for a moment that's going to be coming in September or October in the fourth quarter, when coach is saying, hey, we're playing great football, but we're in a dogfight here. We're down by a score with about 8 minutes left to go, and we're gonna look back at what we did in February and March to kind of build ourselves up. What is the whole vibe of the team, and really through conditioning and the weight room and the strength and conditioning side of things? How's that been, man?
Yeah, I mean, coming back January 1st, it's not the fall, so you're not in season. It's not late enough to where you're in spring ball already. So it's kind of the one time of the year where, that's all you're really worried about. You kind of look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, hey, for these next few weeks, it's my time to just get as strong as I possibly can in these next few weeks, and then also condition as much as I can in these next few weeks. So it's kind of a nice break, and it just kind of everything else is off your plate, so you can just focus on that. And we just got a new weight room put in this past fall, so it's been beautiful working out in there, a ton of new equipment, way more space, so get a lot more numbers in there as well.
Making gains, that's what it's all about, right?
One of the things I think that we did a really good job in, and Dave is a part of this for sure, is we changed the mentality in that weight room. And we've gotten guys to understand that this what we're doing in this weight room transfers over to the football field. And it doesn't necessarily transfer in just pushing guys around.
Yeah.
It transfers mentality.
Yeah.
And that's huge for our guys. And Tom Bojalid is our new strength coach and has done a really good job with helping to try to build that mentality in our players.
Coach, so you move from that phase of building, kind of building back up what you may have lost throughout the season, because by the end of the season it's such a grind. You feel like your bench press is down by 75 pounds. Your legs aren't as strong because you've just been out there grinding, beating your body against the wall, and then you build back up and you get into spring ball. In a snapshot, what did Walsh Cavalier football look like this spring, and what did you take away most about your group that's getting prepared for this 2023 season?
Well, the first thing that we really made sure we did, we were a little bit down in numbers, so we had to be smart about what we were doing with everybody and the drills and different things. And I'll say this, one of the things that Coach Dennison always used to tell us as assistant coaches, in every negative there's a seed of equivalent benefit. And the seed of equivalent benefit for us being a little bit down in numbers is we really got a lot better on special teams. We got a lot of young kids experience offensively and defensively, and where you would usually maybe get 10 to 15 reps of team, now the kids were getting 20 to 30 reps of team, and we were breaking it apart and kind of doing some different things. So I actually found a new way to practice a little bit. That was one of the other benefits that I think that we have, that we can go through a team period and say it's a 15-minute period, get about 15 to 20 plays in and go do something else, and then come back and get another team period in, and not have that lull over a 35 to 40 minute or 35 to 40 play team period and have that lull in there. We can break it up with a special team and do that. So it's taught me I need to reevaluate the attention spans and things like that in practice. So that was a big positive. We have a good united group, and our guys are very together on what they're trying to do. David would probably be able to speak to this even more than I am, but I think they understand what the goal is. They understand at least how to start working towards that goal, and they're united as a group to try to achieve those goals.
So you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I like it, man. Hey, we never stop learning, man. As old as we get, we never stop learning. So speak a little bit. Let's not talk about the team as a whole. Let's talk about your position group. How have you guys come out of spring ball? Offensive line, we always got to be close knit, right?
Yeah.
And we don't. I don't think enough people out there, and I've said this for years, being a former offensive line guy. We joked before we got on here. The skill guys get all the love. All you quarterbacks and wide receivers, yeah, you're fancy. You're on the front of the magazines and all that stuff, but. From right tackle to left tackle, we're the biggest position group out on the field. People don't seem to understand the communication aspect of things. You're over there at left tackle, or you're down there at center, and you got some guys walking down into the box on the left side, and maybe you're on a slide protection. Maybe you got a back helping one side. All the different things. Guy walks up in the A gap. If you from five guys from left to right are not on the same page, things will break down real quick, right?
Yeah.
Talk about your offensive line group and your guys, your brothers that you've been in there, preparing for this season coming up. Because as we are already about to hit halfway through May, you guys are 2.5 months, 2 months away from training camp.
Yeah, I mean, especially in our room specifically. I mean, I just keep trying to stress to guys that there's a lot of opportunity for different people. You don't just want to watch opportunity pass you by. You just want to cling to it because you never know if you're going to get opportunity again. So that's one of the biggest things I've been trying to stress to people. And then also just trying to help people develop their bodies physically as much as they can. I know that offensive and defensive line is kind of one of those positions where it's hard to come in right away because you really need to develop that strength. That takes a few years to kind of build up, whereas at a skill position, if you're fast kind of thing. So, but I mean, I love all the guys that we have in our room. I feel like everyone's kind of there for the right reasons. We don't have any stragglers or people who are kind of messing around with the wrong things. So I like the guys that we have, and I'm just excited to be able to get back on campus. I know that we have a bunch of guys. A lot of the freshmen coming in are local guys, so I'm excited to be able to work with them over the summer as well.
Great stuff, man, as we get ready for summertime and football is right around the corner. Coach, we're going to continue to have you back on the show here. We're going to be highlighting a lot of things going on around Walsh Cavalier football. I appreciate both of you guys joining me here today inside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And really, before we go, tell everybody what's going to be going on starting June 1st. You got some different phases of the conditioning. When does training camp open up, and who's the first opponent of the season?
Okay, we'll start off really June 1st with our strength coach, Tom Bojalid. We'll get our guys in on campus, and we'll have hopefully in the 40 to 50 numbers, guys that are on or around campus that can get in and work out with him. We'll set up workouts in the weight room and then some conditioning, and then our kids can go out on the field and execute their own sort of practices. And what we'll do is give them scripts and let them go out and kind of do some things without us. We're not allowed to be out there, but they can go out and get a 7-on-7, get some one-on-ones with the O&D line and work some technique and different things like that. So they'll have that opportunity to do those things through July. Our camp will start August 6th, right around the Hall of Fame weekend. That's another big kickoff for me mentally is when I see the Hall of Fame game. I know that our camp's right around the corner. Here we go.
The same way in high school football. It was like you get to the Hall of Fame game. It's like, okay, you can have your last milkshake, your last cheat meal, and then boom, Monday it's 2 days.
Yep, here we go. So we'll kick it off really that 6th of August, and then our first game is on a Thursday night, the last Thursday in August against West Liberty University, who we had a long connection with in our NAIA days, and I've kind of rekindled that connection opening weekend. But we'll play Thursday night on campus, which I'm really excited about.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome atmosphere, and talking about getting that Cavalier walk and all those things going. Usually when we play at noon, we're waking some people up on campus. We won't be waking anybody up. They better be up and ready to roll on that Thursday night.
We'll be there, man. I'm excited for it, and I appreciate you guys joining me here. TJ Downing for Stark Media here inside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame with head football coach of the Walsh Cavaliers, John Fankhauser, also joined by the center down in the trenches, the man making the calls, my man Rhodes over here. We're going to continue to keep up with you, Coach. You're going to come back on, and we'll talk about a lot of different things as we get closer to training camp. We'll talk about recruiting. Had a ton of great kids that you were able to sign. Really a headliner, a Lake Blue streak. Will Butler's going to be coming on to campus. Yep. I know everybody's got to be excited about him. Phenomenal talent, but so many other kids in that group that we want to talk about. We'll continue to talk about them. We'll talk about your seniors that you got on your team now, the guys that are kind of leading the group. And we'll just kind of get closer to Walsh Cavalier football, getting ready to take on West Liberty to open the season Thursday night, man. That's going to be exciting.
For sure. We're really looking forward to it all.
All right, man. Well, hey, guys, appreciate you joining me on here. We'll be back with more from Stark Media Team. Join us on our YouTube channel. Also, check us out on social media at Stark Media Team on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You came to Stark Media for the best? Well, now you got it. Check out Lindsay's Pizza on 2827 Whipple Avenue Northwest inside of the Hillsdale Shopping Center. The preferred post-game pizza of the Stark Media Team is open until 11 p.m., and it has all the essentials for game day. Pizza, chicken, salads, and sandwiches are just a click away at Lindsay'sPizza.com. But you should trust the former Ohio State All-American and just call them right now at 330-477-3800. 477-3800. This is TJ Downing for Lindsay's Pizza, and I approve this message.